Hey guys, what's up? My name is Marcus Chronicle, and today I'm joined by a very special guest that's not been on the podcast yet, Kedrex.
Hey guys, what's up? This is my first time on the podcast here. Mark's been on my podcast twice. We did a fifth one, a third recording between the two. Yeah, but I never posted it. We did a third video, but I just never posted it. It's still just sitting on my laptop.
I don't remember that.
I have no fucking clue anymore.
That's had to have been a while because I don't remember doing another video. Because there was the first podcast that I kind of remember that I think it was about Kingdom Hearts. Then there was the
fourth. The fourth part, because number 2 and number 3 were done with Ninja Storm 93. You were on the fourth one, and it was right after we tore apart that bullshit argument as to why that one girl hated Kyrie.
You see, I don't remember that. I don't remember the podcast. I remember that video because
video. Good God.
I was trying to be as level-headed as possible there. So I did not have. I couldn't say much because I knew I wasn't going to. You have to be level-headed when it comes down to that type of stuff.
I can't be. Well, here's the thing. I can be level-headed if a logical opinion was made, but it was the fact that every opinion that she had was based around not facts, but that she clearly did not understand the source material of what she was working with.
Yeah.
And I just, I get kind of peeved when people say, oh, if you people would just pay attention to the games. Bitch, I've been paying attention to the games for the last, 15 years. I know more about it than you do at this point. And just by playing the first game alone.
Kingdom Hearts 1 is this weird thing. The very beginning of it, and I just realized this the other day, Sora's kind of having an existential crisis. If that's how you have to say that word. I don't know.
I don't know that word.
Is essential having the midlife crisis thing. The game starts out with him going, I'm having these strange thoughts lately.
I think everyone's gone through that at some point.
It's just funny because I didn't ever think about it until just a couple of days ago. That's he's freaking out.
I saw a meme on, I think it was Facebook about 2 years ago, where it was someone in a therapist session saying, I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Is any of this for real or not? And the therapist is going, clearly you've been thinking about this a lot. And then they start singing, when you walk away,
I remember that picture you showed it to me.
Yes. It was very stupid, but it was so funny.
Yeah, I don't generally look up stuff like that, but when I see them, usually they have some sort of clever wit to them, but not always.
Yeah, memes in the Kingdom Hearts series it's a lot of the same stuff wherever you go. Probably the Mark of Mastery exam and Sora failing that because everyone's always just really? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was just kind of a pointless twist. Because, we go through this entire game to do this one thing, and we don't do it. Why? I get everyone says that Chain of Memories was, not Chain of Memories, Recoded was just completely pointless in its story, because it got erased as soon as it was over. But the biggest, my problem is, you have one point to this entire game, and it doesn't even get solved. Coded, I can't get those two games right because they both have a very clear problem, and I can't differentiate the two of them. But Coded has the problem of it's kind of pointless to the story, but it has
a good story.
It has one thing it needs to do, and it doesn't. They only have to 3D. It's Riku gets the Mark of Mastery, Sora doesn't. And what is it? Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora's going to be a master?
Yeah. We don't know that when he gets his Kingdom Hearts 3 attire, at that point he's a full-fledged Keyblade master.
I want to start out Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit then.
Oh, we will, because some of the game is in the Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, remember?
Yeah, I remember the trailers, but it's things can change. Not all trailers are the same.
It's not like they would just immediately give us a new outfit because With Dream Drop Distance, it's a little bit different because when you start off the game, you're going into a past version, and when you get to those worlds, then you're in that that sort of form, I guess. But this has always irked me, is that in every game after Kingdom Hearts 2, we are constantly thrown back into 14-year-old Sora's body. In Recoded, in Dream Drop Distance, fucking A, I am sick and tired of his Kingdom Hearts 1 attire.
I wouldn't say that in Dream Drop Distance, because his attire in that was kind of a mix between the two.
I know. With the Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance attire that he has, it's okay, but at the same time, I just don't feel as much of a connection with that one as I do with some of the other costumes. Now, the Kingdom Hearts 3 attire, which is a mix between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dream Drop Distance, I love it. I think it looks absolutely fucking fantastic.
It's like, I can't wait to play that game. It's going to be a fun game, but I can't wait to play it, less because of the story and just the fighting mechanics, just because I want to see how the movement is, with it being more... with it having free running, I think that's what it is. I can't wait to just test that out, because my favorite part of 3D was the flow motion.
Yeah, but the flow motion also had a downside to it, is that even if the areas were huge as shit, they felt small because the flow motion let you travel around through them so quickly. And this wouldn't have been so bad if... I forget who's talked about this, but if we had like a flow motion meter that, you could use up to a certain amount of flow motion before it ran out and it had to recharge itself, I think that would be pretty cool, because we could still use flow motion, we just couldn't use it as much.
Yeah.
And you would have more time and more reason to explore the maps and everything. We need AIs to come back, like just random people walking around in the street, and bring the Heartless into those areas, because I would love to sort of feel like the hero, protecting them.
So, I'll say this about, you just said something that reminded me about Kingdom Hearts 1. In Kingdom Hearts 1, in Agrabah, after you beat the pot centipede, I did not know that if you just watch around, there were people in the bazaar. I never...
After the pot centipede? I mean, I knew after you defeated Genie Jafar.
Maybe it's not after centipede, but
it's Genie Jafar, because there's still Heartless roaming around. It's after you seal the keyhole in every world in Kingdom Hearts 1, except for Tarzan's world, because
Tarzan and Monstro you get thrown out of.
Yeah, but everyone else. As soon as you defeat Clayton, all the Heartless disappear from the world.
Really?
Yes, as soon as you defeat Clayton, so that's like the one time where it's different. But Monstro isn't the same way. Monstro will always have enemies.
Monstro sucked as a world. I hate it. I still hate it too.
Monstro is... I don't mean any offense to anyone who does like this world, but I have always hated this world. I don't like the soundtrack, and I just never liked it. I always dreaded going to Monstro.
Well, I don't even care about the soundtrack in Monstro. I don't remember the soundtrack in Monstro. What I hate about it is getting to Chamber 4. That is the worst experience in Kingdom Hearts 1, because
at least for your first time. After your fourth or fifth time, you're just I go here, here, and here.
You see, even to this day, I still have trouble doing that. And I have the guy. I can go, okay, I need to take this path, and I will get lost. I will get lost every time, and it drives me insane. And I hate going there. And now I'm better about it. It's I just could never bring myself to get there. And the mechanics of, I think they changed it now, where you can get there much easier on the PS4 version, but in all the other versions, the PS2 and PS3 version, it was horrible.
It's pretty much the exact same. There's not really any difference.
Well, I mean, I remember so many times just being I need to go to Monstro to get the last Dalmatians. I am just warping there, and every time it's oh, he's not here. We can go on to the next world.
Fucking A, the very first time I was trying to find all the Dalmatians, I was missing just 3 Dalmatians. I had 1 treasure chest, and it was in Halabasha. I searched throughout that entire motherfucking castle. Went through all of the frickin' what are they called? Lift stops. I went through all of them, and I still never found it. You know where I found it? It was like...
Yeah, it was in the first area, but you had to go through...
It was like after you get through the Great Hall, and there's like this big drop if you fall off, which means you have to go back up, then you have to go through the Great Hall again, and then you have to go through a lift stop, then you're finally back outside. It's like right before you go up to the Great Crests and everything, and it's on one of those gravity lift things, you know, that you have to use gravity on to get down. And I'm like, fucking hey, I've never seen this, and it's like all the way on this platform that's like just out of the way.
It's just a platform, and there's a thing above it with a chest on it, and we missed it every time. I was talking about it during my Let's Play, like, and this is what the treasure chest that me and my brother never found. It's like,
and it pissed me off so much. And when I finally saw it, I'm like, I hate this one. This is now forever my most hated chest in the entire game. And
it's like you with Gravity and Chain of Memories.
Fucking Gravity and Chain of Memories. Fuck that shit. If you guys look up top 10 worst Kingdom Hearts spells, because that was a collaboration video I did with another guy, Jock217, which has gotten a lot of views, actually. Actually, there was a comment for about me on there. Just one comment, and it was, Kedrex is unfunny. I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to tear this spell apart and say why it's bad.
Yeah, people is like, oh, it's YouTube. Everyone has to be funny all the time.
I mean, Jock is funny. I covered 2 spells, and that was it, out of all 10. And, I mean, yeah, the video was my idea, but it was going on his channel. So, you know, it made sense that he did most of it.
I mean, even in the collaboration, you should probably be doing a good portion of the voice.
Well, I mean, originally we had it to where I was doing 3 spells, but when we found out that Warp wasn't really all that bad, it wasn't as bad as we thought, because you could still progress through the game with it. Then we took it off of the top 10. We were going to have it in honorable mentions, but he took it out of the honorable mentions. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I still hate Warp. I really do.
I hate all the slates from Chain of Memories. I hate
Lethal Flame, dude. Come on. That thing is fucking badass.
I don't know what it is about the slates and Chain of Memories. I hate them all. I hate having to use them. Like, I'm fine using them, and I use them all the time. I just hate having to use them. I think it's just that thing in my mind that says, if I use these slates, I'm losing cards. I'm losing attacks. It's like, and I just fly.
It was worse in the Game Boy version because the Pluto card didn't exist.
And we had a broken Game Boy that you couldn't even use the slates half the times.
And what's more, the screen fucking sucked because it had like no backlight to it. Like so,
yeah, the backlight was broken, and the right?
I think it was the left one.
I don't remember the right one because I remember always just having to hit the right one as hard as I can. Like I'm pretty sure it was that one.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started playing Chain of Memories. It's like my friend Cody at the time, he was just like, you know, hey, do you want to borrow this? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to borrow the Chain of Memories. And then I had my friend Jordan, you know, he let me borrow his Game Boy Advance. And by the time I finally beat the game, that's when we found out that the PS2 version was coming to America. And I was so mad that, you know, we hadn't gotten this before, but I was also so happy that we were finally getting it. And
I remember, like, the day, it was Voidstorm that let us know about this, because that was the year I met him.
And I found this out in a magazine at Walmart.
Really? Well, yeah. He told me, and I was like, no, I didn't believe him at first, and like I was like, he kept like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, it's happening. It was like, no, yes, way, no way, yes, way, yes, way. And that was pretty much conversations. Like, that's all it took to convince me in 5th grade the video game was coming out.
I remember because this is probably my most vivid memory of the first time we saw that game is I was opening up a Christmas present because it was Christmas Eve. We have this thing in our family where on Christmas Eve, we open up all of our presents at home, and then on Christmas Day we go to our grandparents' house, and everyone opens up their presents there and everything, and it's all good and everything. Well, I was fine. I had been wanting the Dark Knight movie for so long because I loved it in theaters. I wanted the movie so fucking bad, and when I finally got it, I was like, this is so awesome. And then you opened up your present, and it was Chain of Memories, and I dropped the Dark Knight because I was just like, that is not fair.
I was like, I want Chain of Memories. I think that was the year Eternal Night came out as well. Not Eternal Night, A New Beginning for Spyro. I think that might have been that year too.
No, Spyro came out 3 years before that.
Really?
Yes, because that was the same year that Ultimate Spider-Man came out for the PS2, and we both got those games on the same exact night. And I remember playing Ultimate Spider-Man the first night and just being so... Gaming for me that year, for my 6th grade year, was hell because... Mom and Dad would not let me play video games if my grades were below a C average. And that was driving me nuts because, I had the ADHD, I couldn't focus, and Adderall didn't help. It actually put me to sleep most of the time.
And it's like, I'm lucky enough to just be like, by the time homework was a problem, where it was like, this might actually screw me over, I was like, he knows what he's doing. I'm gonna copy you real quick. No, don't look. You can't see me. I can't see you. I can see your page. That's how I got through multiplying the first year I dealt with it.
I have no problem with saying that. Every now and again, I did cheat, but only very rarely. I very rarely ever cheated. Because for the most part, I knew the information, I just didn't do homework, and that was really the big reason as to why I failed a lot of my stuff during my freshman year in high school, was just because I didn't do the work.
That is the only time I remember legitimately cheating. I mean, there was one time it was I was looking at someone else's test, but it was for a test that did not matter. I could have turned it in blank, and it would not have mattered because it's not a grade. It was literally let's see what you know. And no one tried. Everyone just went A all the way down paper or just did random bubbles. You would get that one kid that did a smiley face on it.
Me, I would, I remember doing those tests a lot, where it's just that big strip of paper and it's just this. And you would have the ones that would go in multiple directions. I would purposefully make an arrow on one of them. On one side it was it was C D C D C D, and then it would go B A C D, and you get the idea, A B C D, and it would just keep going, and I would flip it on the other side to where it was A B A B A B E. D, C, B, A, that kind of thing.
That just sounds like trying to make your teacher hate you.
It's I'm going down and I'm taking you with me.
I don't know what he's doing to get these answers, but he's doing something, and because they can't flip it to where they see both sides at once, they can't tell.
I remember doing it just because, it was a class that I was doing so well in that I could have failed at that point, and it wouldn't have. I remember my last day in my last history class, and, it was right after your sort of middle school graduation ceremony.
Oh, yeah, that was
And I had history class coming up, and it was the last day of school and everything.
I want to say you skipped that class.
Here's the thing. We had a last day test in there, and I handed in all the homework that I was missing, everything, all the notes, everything. And I said, with this, what will my grade be if I didn't take the test? And he said it would be a D-. I'm like, I'm out! A D- is a passable grade for me, and I'm like, I'm out!
I had a teacher the last 2 years she was the shop technology type teacher in middle school that we had for 3 years straight, and then she came over to the high school. The last 2 years I was there, and I had her the last 2 years. Like the last day of school, she was a shop teacher that year. I was in Intro into Engineering, a class I did not sign up for, but they were like, we can't let him have a free period. He's passing all his classes. He has to have something. So they put me in a class that I didn't need. The final assignment was we're going to build a birdhouse. It's like, okay, fine, whatever.
I wish they had let me build something because Intro to Engineering class for me, it was all done on the computer. Fuck, I didn't want to do shit on the computer. I wanted to do workshop. I wanted to make stuff that was physical that I could, build with my own 2 hands. I didn't want to type stuff on the computer because I can do that at home.
Yeah. But she did this birdhouse thing, and like the last day she was like, if you don't turn it in today, you get an F. And I walked up to her at the end of the final class and went, will this give me a passing grade? And she went, it'll be a B, like a B minus. And I went, I'm good with that. I asked if it was a passing grade, and you're telling me a B?
A passing grade for anyone in our high school was a D minus.
And you got screwed on your D's and everything. You had a different type of thing where when I entered high school, they went back to like...
yes, that's
like
a thing.
60 to 69 was D, 70 to 79
that's a fucking
C.
thing. Okay, when I was in high school, the grading system was a lot different. Now, for a lot of people, the grading system is 90 to 100. That's an A. For me, it was 93 to 100. That was an A. Then it was 85 to 92. That was a B. 75 to, 84. That was C. And it was like 68 to 74. That was a D. So I had to get a minimum of 68 every time. And a lot of people were saying, oh, you fucking dumbass. How could you not get at least 68? I wasn't trying to pass. I was I had a girlfriend and stuff, and I was just not focused on school. I couldn't give a fuck about school.
Yeah, I remember the senior year is where I just gave up on school. By the time I entered into senior year, they changed the system again. Instead of having whole credits, you had half credits. So you would take 2 end of the year test type thing, one at the middle of the year. And oh, if you pass everything, you only need 23 credits to pass. By the end of the year, I could have failed half of the classes I was taking and still walked out and still walked across the stage. Because I took driver's ed, which was half a credit, and then I passed every class, with a C at minimum.
Yeah, me, I did not walk across the stage with the rest of my class because I did not have enough credits, and once again, it was because of my freshman year. I had not made up my credits, and I could have because I was put into, I had the option to go to night school, and I did go to night school, but here's the thing, I was fucking around in there. I was making YouTube videos in the back, and I wasn't working. And some of you are probably saying, oh, you're still a dumbass. No, because here's the thing, I came back for the 5th year, and I was out in a month and a half, because I literally covered all my credits in a month and a half of just on the computer.
Yeah, I remember that month because you and me went to the same school, so you would drive. We'd deal with that till 3 o'clock. You would drive me home and then immediately get dressed and go to work.
Yeah, because I had a job, and it's
and then you get back around midnight and then go to sleep, wake up, and go back to school.
Yeah. It's I was balancing job, work, and school. I said job and work.
Listen, when you work, it's not necessarily a job.
Yeah. No. I am so glad to not be working at Taco Bell anymore because so many people that I just couldn't say. I can't stand being around people for some reason. I think that's why I like factory work so much, is because, for the most part, I get to be left alone while I work. Very rarely do people ever come and talk to me.
Yeah, it's like, I wish people would leave me alone less at work whenever I'm off.
You work a fast food job, dude. You're around people 24/7.
Here's the thing. When I work night shift, I am a dishwasher, which means I should not have to talk to anyone. It's just bring me the dish, go away. Just go away. That's the thing is, no, they depend on me to do everything, because apparently they can't get someone competent enough to get in there and just do the job. And then the people who stand around doing nothing will look at me and go, well, why are you over here doing everything? You're lazy. I'm sorry? I thought working was being productive. I didn't realize that you were lazy if you weren't standing around doing nothing.
People nowadays are just dumbasses. It's like, what happened to us as a human race to where we got to be so stupid? One of the things that pisses me off is the flag burners. That's something that pisses me off. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but all I have to say is if you burn a flag, don't do it around me, because I'll kick your ass. I'll go to jail for it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that topic. I have my opinions,
but you're just gonna leave it alone. Yeah, I normally don't talk about political stuff ever. But I mean, around people like that I know, I'm okay with doing that. But on like YouTube and stuff like that, I don't do political.
And like on the first podcast, me and Neon were talking about how 50,000 idiots are the reason why Trump won and why Hillary Clinton didn't.
I prefer Trump because at least I know what he is. I don't know what the fuck Hillary is.
And to be fair, if I voted, I would have voted for the Meteor 2016. Just end it, please. Just come and end it for like the next 4 to 8 years, just so we don't have to deal with it.
Oh, who would have been a better president? Xehanort for president. Good fucking. Well, for one, he would have been the most intelligent president we would ever have because he's a brilliant tactician and all of our enemies would be fucked.
I think I would be a great president for like 2 days. That's all I'm giving. I would be president for 2 days, do exactly everything I needed to do, and then I would resign.
If we had to pick a character from Kingdom Hearts to be a president, who would we pick? Aside from Xehanort, because Xehanort would be a pretty good president, actually, all things considering.
I don't know. I would pick Mickey. Let's go with King Mickey. He's already a ruler, and he is badass. Like, he does not care. Oh, I
want to see that. I want to see a presidential election debate between King Mickey and Master Xehanort. Why do I want to see this? Because it would be fucking awesome. And
here's your guys' homework. 2020, everyone go out to the ballot, write in Mickey Mouse. Let's get Mickey Mouse in office. Please.
From other mediums, what about the Naruto series? Who would we want to be president?
Kakashi. Kakashi or Gaara?
I would pick Kakashi. Like, I love Gaara, but Kakashi would be the better president.
And if we were talking about like any anime character ever, who would I want to be the president? Karma Akabane from Assassination Classroom.
Yes,
100%. I would vote for him in a heartbeat.
Yes, he I think would be crazy enough to make it work.
Here's the thing: we would not have a military anymore. He would literally go, "Oh, you want to fight with us? Come here, come here."
You know,
bring your guns, bring your toys.
The two people that I think would be absolutely hilarious to see in presidential status are both from Soul Eater. First one I'm going to say, Black Star. Fucking A. Black Star would have a ball being the president because he already wants to be the #1 star. Putting him in that position of power, oh God, who knows what would happen. But then you have to think about this one. Death the Kid.
Kid would be insane. Because here's why Kid would not be able to be president for long. Because he would literally look at the flag and go, no, it needs to be symmetrical.
at that point, it's just, there's not much you can...
He would take the blue and white part and move it over.
But then you have to think about the stars, because they're only symmetrical in one... No, they're not even symmetrical in that direction. Like, they're only symmetrical from left to right, but if you, like, go up to down, the stars are not symmetrical.
Well, that's less of a deal. Like, if it's as long as it's symmetrical one way, he's fine.
Yeah. There's a simple solution to that. Just put another flag next to it and just have them stand side by side. That way, you get two flags.
The one thing in anime is, like, if I could be in any anime for, like, 5 seconds, it would literally be the end of Soul Eater after everything's said and done, after all the credits are done rolling, and I would like to step into frame for, like, 1 second next to Death of Canon and while you were passed out during the fight, you were perfectly symmetrical, and back out. This is all I wanted to do since I watched that show.
Yeah, I think Kid was definitely one of the funniest episodes, or characters, because of how much he wanted symmetry to be a part of stuff.
He said he had the OCD of Sheldon Cooper. It's like it had to be perfect. If it wasn't perfect, it wasn't anything.
Alright, now, for Bleach, I'm trying to think of who would be good for president from Bleach, because I don't think Ichigo would fit the bill. Renji certainly wouldn't.
I think Chad would be okay.
I don't know how Chad would do as president. Chad probably wouldn't be able to do it. Oh man, I'm trying to think about this one. I guess if you want to get down to...
Zangetsu.
No. Not Zangetsu. There are 2 reasons why I can't say that, but for the sake of not spoiling you, because you don't know how Bleach ends or what's been going on with Bleach. Do what?
I'm never going to finish Bleach.
Well,
I got halfway through the series and stopped.
Technically, you are both right and, incorrect. You're both correct and incorrect. Because Hollow Ichigo is the true Zangetsu.
Oh, I know that.
But Zangetsu is actually Juha Bach, the original Quincy. Which I'm just like... But at the same time, you're right, because he would actually be an interesting president, considering his character. Oh god, imagine if Yamamoto was the president. We would be fucked.
Well, here's why I want Zangetsu to be president. Just because I want the headline for the next day. President Zangetsu, who elected, strangely enough, likes to stand on walls. that would be the headline, and everyone would just go, okay, President stands on walls. President is Spider-Man.
Alright, imagine if Soy Phone, Captain Squad 2, imagine if she was president. Good God, we would have assassins in the White House, but they would be assassins that were there to protect the president and were there to kill anyone that got too close that wasn't a particular woman.
I love anime. The best part about anime is just because they don't care. They could not care less about what they put out there.
Oh, here's... Alright, so I got another character who... 2 characters that I think would be pretty funny to see in the presidential seat. Number 1, Sanji from One Piece.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good.
The womanizer.
But we already have that.
Well, yeah, but
we had a couple of them.
But after Sanji, because I wanted to save this one for first, but Luffy. Fuck, if Luffy was the president.
If Luffy was the president, America would own every country, because he'd just be like, you're part of us now. And then you go, no. Yes.
Gum pistol.
Listen, if I could have any anime characters just come to life, like, I love Karma from Assassination Platform, but there is no character I would want to meet more than Kuro Sensei. Just because at the end of the first episode, you remember his assignment of write a poem that end was tentacles all along. I just want to...
Cards Against Humanity.
I want to talk to him once, because I did that. I did that in high school and got a grade on it.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that. I was like, what the fuck?
In science class, our biology teacher was like, okay, so these are fungus things, and we're learning about them. Now I want you all to make a poem about fungi. I don't care what fungi. You get to choose. And my first thought was, poems, science class, I bet there's a tentacle-shaped fungus. So I looked up tentacle fungus. Or tentacle-shaped. I looked up tentacle-shaped fungus, and it's like some red fungus that looks just like an octopus tentacle.
What the fuck?
And it's like, I was like, yes, this is a sign. I have to do it.
If I had Kuro Sensei as a teacher back in school, I would have loved school. There was really only one teacher that I really, well, there were two teachers that I enjoyed, but one that I really enjoyed because she was fucking awesome. And that was an art teacher, which, for the sake of, privacy, I'm not going to say her name here, obviously, but you know who I'm talking about. She was the best fucking teacher of all time. I'll be honest, there are a lot of people who have the teacher crush. She was my teacher crush. I'm just going to say that, because she was kind of hot. I doubt she's watching this, so I'm not really too worried about it.
She does have the channel name, so there's a small chance, but I doubt it.
Yeah, and even if she did, I'm not sure she'd know I was talking about her, because I did have a lot of female teachers.
Like, until high school, I had almost exclusively female teachers. Yes. Like, in high school was like the first times like I had a legitimate amount of male teachers. Like, I think in ninth grade,
middle school, I may have had only about 4, maybe 5 male teachers, and everyone else was female. That's what I don't get. It's like, why is it that almost every teacher in the school system nowadays, they're all female?
I don't know. It confuses me.
Like, I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything. I have no problem with female teachers, but as a kid, it had me curious. Why is it that we were in elementary school and the only male teachers that I ever saw were the principal, or maybe he was the vice principal at the time.
I don't count those.
Well, he was the vice principal at the time, and the librarian. Even though they weren't technically teachers, they were the only adult males, in the entire fucking building.
That just sounds like entrapment.
And like all the other teachers, female, every last one of them.
Yeah, you see, where I went to elementary school, since we went to 2 different ones until I was in 5th grade, I went to the one where you went to. I had one male teacher, and it was a music teacher. Like, I hated him. Like, from day one, I hated him.
Wait, and there was a male music teacher?
Yeah, we had a music class, and the teacher was a male.
Wait, are we talking about your original school or mine? Oh, okay, yours.
Like, and it's like, I hated his class because it's like, hey, you're going to sit here and just do this, you're going to play music on these keyboards, and you're going to play along to the tune and do everything perfectly.
God, I fucking hated music classes that forced you to... I didn't like piano, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the piano, but I don't like playing the piano. At least not back then. Because if you're forced to do something, you don't want to do it. It's like that. That's why I hated school so much and all the projects and everything. Because, you were forced to do it if you wanted to pass. It's like, it's not something you wanted to do.
Yeah. Like, I didn't like music classes because, like, up till I swapped schools where you went to elementary school, the music class was like, hey, we're going to learn about tempos for the 12th time this week.
I don't remember music class, really.
Yeah. And I swapped to your elementary school, and I remember there were the choir pew things that you stand on and sing. Yeah. I was like, that teacher was like, the only thing I remember was we watched Hamlet. And at one point she said that at the age we were, all guys sound like females because their voices are so much higher.
Yeah, it's like once you hit like me. Actually, when I turned like it was a little after I turned 9 because I had my tonsils removed, but my deep voice actually came much faster than most. And surprisingly, I actually hit puberty when I was like 11. So everything came much faster to me than most other guys. And there are so many ways that this can be taken wrong, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck.
Listen, I was thinking about this earlier today. It's like, I remember being in preschool and just like being on the bus, and all of a sudden this person just come and sit next to me, and they went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there." I looked over, it was a girl, and I thought, "You're hot," and then she walked away, and I never saw her again. It's like,
Wait, did you actually say it?
no.
Oh.
It's like, that was the first thing that went through my mind. I'm like, she's hot. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. And then she was gone. I was like, huh.
All right, there was a friend of mine, which, for the sake of discretion, I won't reveal any names. Like, I won't even give an alias. But this friend met with another one of my friends. Like, this is years before they even met me. Either one of them, but they had met years beforehand. Like, I think it was kindergarten. And this idiot friend, who I couldn't believe I was friends with at the time, straight up looked under this girl's skirt at the age of 5. So you know what she did? She took a textbook, which apparently she had quick access to, and just hit him over the face with it.
She maka chopped him?
No, like, it was like as if you're slapping someone, but with a book about
standard textbook.
Yes. Well, it's like, I'd say it was probably about 2.5 inches. Maybe. I don't know entirely. All I know is that it apparently left a mark, like a big red bruise. And here's the thing. You know my psycho friend, the girl who I've said is psycho quite a bit? She was the one whose skirt was looked under. And you know who,
I knew who you were talking about with your friends.
Yes.
I know how we both have like very specific names for like a few people. It's like where we can say whatever.
I've called everyone dumbass. I've called you dumbass.
I know, but
so it's a little bit harder to determine it when I'm saying dumbass because I've called everyone dumbass except for like aunts, uncles, mom, dad, mama, papa, grandma, grandpa, that kind of stuff. I've never called them dumbass because it's not the same. But calling a cousin dumbass or a friend dumbass or someone that I work with dumbass, it's different. I just like looked at. I heard this story and I was just like, you are officially the biggest dumbass I've ever met, considering how crazy this bitch is.
I knew a guy that I used to work with. It's like, and at some point, I worked with him long enough, and I was so sick of him that like I went from calling him dumbass to just going, you know what? That's an insult to every dumbass. Like I started calling him a different name. At some point, I just started calling him his name because there was nothing that I could insult him by other than just calling him by his name. That was the biggest insult I could give him.
Yeah, for me, I mostly, it depends on what I call, like some friends, I've only ever referred to them by nicknames like dumbass or something else, like, just depending on the situation, and I rarely ever call them by their first name nowadays because, there's Voidstorm. I don't call him by his first name, I call him by his last name because you two share a first name. And whenever you two are in the same room, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to call you by your last name, and apparently that's what he's used to.
Literally, in school, like, my name's Jacob, it's been said on the channel numerous times by Leon. It's like, so I don't care to say that, it's like, it's a common name, who cares? But in high school, like, there were a good 12 other Jacobs. There was one Jake out of that. There was me, Jacob, and every other one was called by their last name. One person's called me by my last name once, and then they never did it again.
Yeah, because our last name was a little unique compared to most.
No one can say our last name. They always leave off the one letter.
I've had people who actually have had the one letter, but pronounce the end wrong. I was fortunate because my name isn't uncommon, but apparently it's not common enough in Kentucky because my name is Derek, and there was surprisingly no other Dereks in the entire school when I was there. At least none that I could find. And, well, no, there was one, I think. No, wait. No, there wasn't another one. There was someone else who had our last name, but his name was Craig. Or, wait, was it? I don't know. It's been a long, yeah, it was Craig. But I had a girl in one of my classes who actually decided that she didn't want to call me by my first name and said, I'm going to call you Greg from now on. Like, I know I said Craig, but that's with like a C, you know, it's like Craig from Craigslist. This girl wanted to call me Greg, like with, you know, Greg. And I'm like, yeah, Greg. Greg. I mean, it's pronounced Greg, which, I don't know. They sound so similar, but at the same time, they're different. But she would constantly, like, call me out by that name, and I would just, like, not pay attention. And she would eventually come over to me and say, why didn't you answer me? I'm like, you weren't calling me. She's like, yes, I did. I called you numerous times. I heard you calling some guy named Greg. I'm like, she's like, that's you? I'm like, oh, really? Because according to my driver's license here, it says my name's Derek. And no, before any of you ask, I did not go out with this girl. She wasn't my type, and I had a girlfriend at the time already anyway, so.
I never really had to deal with other people's, like, and their BS like that. It's like, which is weird. It was like, I was like the perfect meat for like being bullied. Like, I don't know how I got from elementary school to high school before anyone tried to bully me. It's like, because I was overweight, I was antisocial, I have a speech impediment. Like, I was a perfect target. No one bullied me.
Oh, that's not entirely true. You did have that one guy in 8th grade.
He did not bully me. It's like, just all of a sudden, like, it was a bunch of everyone, it's guys in the locker room screwing around, and then all of a sudden he just threw a fist. He just hit me. For, like, no reason. Like, it wasn't really bullying. He was like, he was overprotective of a friend that we were all just screwing with. It was like, this guy's, the friend was an asshole. Like, I'll say that. Like, and we were all screwing with each other, and then I was like, I screwed with him for like a second, and I got hit. It's like, it came out of nowhere. It's like, I wouldn't call that bullying. Like, I call bullying like the people who were just trying to push every single button I had. That is what I would call bullying, because they were legitimately trying to get under my skin and trying to mess with me.
Now, my bullies, I had them in elementary school, and I had them in middle school. Here's the thing. In elementary school, I don't know, they didn't really do anything. All my bullies were in middle school, except for one who was on the bus who just wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. And, like, in elementary school, I've said this story about 1,000,000 times. You know it. Everyone else in our life knows it. But I remember when I was in 6th grade, and there was this guy. He was like a good extra foot taller than me, and we were in the same grade and everything. And I don't remember how this started. All I remember is that at some point we were in the middle of a fight, and like he managed to grab a hold of me, was like squeezing me really tight, like with both of his arms wrapped around me. I couldn't do anything, so I jumped up and used my head to hit his jaw, forcing his teeth to collide, and I actually knocked out 3 of his teeth. I essentially won with a headbutt. And I asked my best friend, I'm like, what happened? And he said, I don't know, I just came in and you were fighting.
I don't know, I walked in, your head, there were teeth in your hair, and there was a guy with a bloody mouth on the floor. I don't know what happened. Like, you were saying that story, and it was like, I remember, like, just randomly, 1st grade. In 1st grade, I met this guy, it's like, I met this guy, like, his name was Noah. The guy's a dick. He was, most of the people that I knew were dicks somehow. I was like, I don't know why. Like, and he was by far a bully. Like, and he had an older friend that was also in the class. It's like, and his friend, I remember this friend, I only met him that year. I never saw him again after that. This guy, first grade. So, about 5, 6-year-olds. This kid was 8. In the first grade. To the day I met him, and was like, oh yeah, I'm 8 years old. I'm like, how? How are you 8? My birthday is at the tail end of the school year. I'm 6 now. How are you 8? And he's like, I'm 8. Like, I was held back twice. It's first grade. It was like I can see, like, maybe you stay. Maybe you're just kept in kindergarten for a year. Because some people will do that with their kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I went through 2 years of preschool, but I entered preschool when I was 3.
Yeah, it's like they didn't want to push you ahead.
I would have been put a year ahead, which meant I would have been out of high school at 17 instead of 18.
Yeah, you would have started high school during my 4th year.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked out for the best because you met all your friends.
I met Neon, I met Void Storm.
Yeah.
I met Johnny. Johnny. I gotta get Johnny on a podcast. I haven't had him on. The very first podcast we tried to do, I had him on, and it's just, I don't even know what I have with that audio. That audio is gone. It does not exist anymore. Like, I met a bunch of my friends. It's like, luckily, I never would have met any of them if it wasn't for me being in the grades I was, which is awesome.
Me personally, I have strange relationships with my friends because, I'm pretty sure I've told you this. No, I'm 100% sure that I've told you this story. But, so, my best friend, Ninja Storm 93, we've been best friends since we were like 10 years old. Then we met someone else who, for the sake of this, let's call her Sheila. And let's call this other guy who is another friend, we met him a year later, we're going to call him Caboose. And
I was gonna make the joke.
You know exactly where I'm going with this.
I was gonna make the joke before you said Caboose. Okay.
But, where was I going? So, Caboose and Sheila, about the time that we were all 14, they started dating. So, it was about 10th grade when I was doing some kind of history project and we were looking up, like, ancestry stuff and shit. And we found out that Sheila and Ninja Storm 93, they were cousins, actually. And at first I'm thinking, like, oh, that's cool. And then I go further back into my own history. I just keep looking. And then eventually I find Caboose's last name. And I'm just like, there's no way. And so I go down, like, this ancestry line, and there he is. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm cousins with Caboose. Ninja Storm 93 is cousins with Sheila. And Sheila and Caboose are dating. We are one big fucking family. And the two of them actually had a kid back in 2012. And long story short, they're not together anymore. And no, there is not a Caboose with a cannon for a head running around shooting church.
You see, you're telling this story, the only thing going through my mind is just like two family trees. At one end, there's Ninja Storm. At the other end, there's a tank. And on the other tree, there's you, and then there's Caboose's helmet. And that's just the only thing that's going through my mind.
Things get weird in my family because I also have in our family, because we also have another cousin who the only time you've ever talked to him was during the summer of 2009 when I was constantly on RuneScape all the time, and I was on the calls with him, and we were just
I talked to him beforehand. I've talked to him a few times.
I don't think so. But you two always fought every time you were on the
phone, you would somehow, I don't know for what reason or why, but you would always get into some kind of argument, and I'm like,
I didn't like him.
I would laugh the entire time because I was like, I don't know why they're fighting, but it's funny as shit.
Well, here's the thing. I had met him at one of your birthday parties. Like the one that
when I turned 13.
I hated him. I also hated Sheila. I did not like Sheila when I met Sheila.
I don't think you and Sheila actually talked much.
I had one small conversation with her, and I hated her.
To be fair, you were 9, and we were teenagers. She
immediately went to like the Aqua Adventist thing of like she's overly motherly, and I hated her. But not like Ventus hates Aqua or whatever. It's like I don't like that type of person.
She was like that towards you?
Yeah. Like I immediately wanted to hit her. Of course I didn't.
I did, but I probably would have hit you at that point.
Like even to this day, almost every time I've interacted with her, I've not liked her. Like the last time when she came over one summer and we had the pull up, we were all hanging out there. It was like I did not like her there either. And that's the last interaction I remember having with her. So I did not get along with Sheila.
Yeah, that's to be expected because you can't get along with everyone. For me personally, I know Sheila a lot more than you do, and she and I just we've been through too much to just really hate each other. Although, interesting story to you guys. Back in 2014, when Sheila and Caboose finally broke up, at first I didn't believe it because, believe it or not, they've been broken up and put back together more times. Like, they've been on and off more than a light switch. Let's just say that.
They've been on and off more times than Bruce has killed Church.
That's true. But when it happened, I was like, look, the number of times you two have broken up, I don't believe it until after a certain amount of time. And a whole week had gone by, and this is the longest it had ever gone. Aside from the biggest breakup, which was back when we were teenagers. And they had been together for years. I'm like, look, you guys have been together for years. Until I see a substantial amount of time, I don't believe it. And this is something like that started happening. So one day I was hanging out with Sheila, and this was, I think, about a week after the relationship had ended. And someone had apparently seen me hanging out with her, and I don't know who, because this is a story that actually, when I think about it, I was so pissed off at the time. But we hung out for a while, and a few weeks later, suddenly, there are rumors going around about me saying that I'm sneaking around and sleeping with Sheila. And immediately I'm like, who the fuck is saying all this shit? And because nothing ever happened between us. Not a damn thing. But she said that she heard it from Caboose. And immediately I'm like, oh, this shit's going down. This shit's going down. Because, I straight up went to his house the very second that I found out about this. And I'm like, I am figuring this out. I'm figuring this out. And I talked to him. I told him, look, nothing is going on. I don't know. I want to know exactly who's telling all these lies about me right fucking now. And to this day, I still don't know who started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I don't have any great stories like that. It's like, some stuff's about to go down. I don't have those stories because literally every story I have is like someone's about to get hit. It usually starts off as like me at work having a bad day and someone else just escalating it. So then, like, I remember one guy, I literally stopped myself from taking a metal tray and bashing him with it. Like, he was like, oh, you don't talk to me like that just because you've been here longer, or you can't tell me to get back to my job. And if you think you can, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm like, you want to go? Come on, you're skinny. I'll take you out. You may think you're crazy, but you don't know crazy. Like that. I did not like that guy. I did not have a lot of great coworkers. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes down to coworkers, like, all right, I've told this story to a lot of people. My best friend, Ninja Storm 93. Now, we were both working at the same factory when I was living in an apartment with him, and we both got laid off on the same day, like within 15 minutes of each other, and we both ended up getting sent to the same exact place after that, which I was just like, okay, this can work, we can still make money, we can still make the rent, and motherfucker, I have wanted to kick his ass ever since, and I'm surprised that I hadn't, but we got put into this sort of position where, like, how's the best way to put this? Alright, when we walked into this place, I am not the skinniest guy around. I'm bulky. I'm bulky. I'm not as bad as I was back then, but I was pretty bulky, and people saw me when we walked in, and they saw him, and he was substantially more skinny than I was. Like, just way not as big as I was, not as, chubby. And they thought, oh man, he's going to be the hard worker, and that chubby one over there, he's going to be slowing us down. Nope. Nope. Dude, I swear to God, there were so many times where I kept hearing, they were going to fire him, and I'm like, no, they are not, because if they fire him, he's got to find another way. He won't be able to pay rent, and I need him to pay rent, because I'm not covering his shit, because I can barely cover my own.
Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Yeah, like he always said, well, it depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm not feeling, good, then I'm not going to work fast. And I don't mean like feeling good as in like, he was sick or something. He means like just like happy or angry. If he's not feeling happy, he's going to work slow. Motherfucker, I could be the most pissed off motherfucker in the world or the saddest motherfucker in the world. Regardless of my emotion, I will keep a consistent flow of work.
You see, I'm not a great person to be around when I'm angry, but if I am truly pissed off, like I'm about to just start beating things, I'm about to just start putting holes in walls, that's the best time for me to work. Because I am walking into work going, I don't want to be here, we're leaving in 15 minutes. I don't care that we don't close for the next 6 hours. In 15 minutes, everything will be done. And in 15 minutes, everything will be done. So, and if we have to stand around for 6 hours and do nothing, okay. But 15 minutes later, it's like, and I've always been about decent when I can say, hey, we'll be out of here by this time. But,
yeah, I don't know. When it comes down to it, I feel the only things that have kept me sane when I've been working for the last however many years it's been now, is that I'm constantly thinking about, my mediums, the ones that I like to watch or listen to or whatever, and Kingdom Hearts is almost always one of them, and I keep thinking, dude, I'd love to live in the world of Kingdom Hearts, or some other world aside from what I'm doing, and it's the only thing that gets me through the day. Like, it's why I love Kingdom Hearts so much, because, for one, fan fiction. You can write a fan fiction in your head and it'll keep you occupied for hours.
And see, when I'm at work, like, if I had the option, because I work fast food, which means on night shifts is the only time I have the option, like, because the boss is never around, music. I will always run a headphone up through my shirt, just one. It's like, I still need to listen and still need to kind of be there, but, I will tell people, okay, I'm zoning out, and they know I have music in. They know that now. They know if I'm coming back from a break, I probably have a headphone on, and I'm listening to something. But, yes. It used to be a thing of like, I never did that. I maybe did that once before last summer. Like, and now I do it every night. Because I cannot be there and listen to the same music all day, every day, despite the fact that the music I listen to is the exact same stuff all day, every day.
I get kind of creative. I listen to movies at the same time, or Red versus Blue, or Ruby, just whatever I can find, like on YouTube or something like that, because it will keep me entertained and keep me focused. Which I used to do that a lot. Even now, I still do it to an extent.
I was just the other day, like Thursday, I was at work just kind of not doing anything. This was after I started listening to music, something different. It's like I hadn't listened to in a long time. And then because I use YouTube Music, it's just a bunch of random songs that I have no control over because it just goes to whatever. It's like, and the headphone fell out because it happens, and I just hear your "Carry On My Wayward Son, There'll Be Peace When You're Done." And I'm like, whoa, what happened? They're playing good music. I'm like, I hadn't heard this song forever. And the coworker that had his phone hooked up was like, "You listen to Kansas?" I'm like, yeah, they have some really awesome music. It's like, and I just like, it was a good like 5 seconds because I was like, "This is Kansas. What song is this?" And then I heard like Carrie, and oh, Supernatural. Okay, zone back out.
Yeah, for us, it's kind of we don't typically listen to the radio here in Kentucky because it's for the most part country, and we are not big fans of country.
Don't get me started. Because I can go on for 45 minutes.
I won't get you started. Me personally, I listen to all sorts of different types of music. I can listen to country. We've been going for over an hour. I'll just say that.
I thought we started a lot earlier than that. To be honest, I really did. Anyway, you were saying?
When it comes down to music, I listen to a variety of things. I listen to anime openings or Japanese songs, I listen to a lot of Kingdom Hearts OSTs. I listen to a lot of rock. Every now and again, I'll listen to a country song because some of them I do like, but I don't like the genre itself. I just like a handful of country songs.
There's always a few diamonds in the crowd. And I say that. I get it. You may like country. A lot of people like country. I don't. I don't like it because the problem I have with country is and I'm going to only be on a tangent for a very small minute. It's the music in country.
Trucks and tractors.
yes, that's part of it. If I'm thinking of country music, the first thing that comes to mind is some redneck talking about his truck, or a tractor, or how his girlfriend left him, or how his girlfriend stole his truck and left him. And that's it. That's all I can think of. And then as I start listening to more music and find some country songs that I think are really good, like Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is by far the one country song, and that is the best country song to me.
Yeah, there is one song that I like. They used it for the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer for Dead Man Tell No Tales, and it was Ain't No Grave Can Hold My Body Down, and it was written by Johnny Cash, and it's I like this because I know it's a country song, but it feels like it belongs in a western, and I can just watch that.
Yeah, it's my problem with country music is the instruments have no range. At least it feels like that. I cannot tell you.
I think that with country, it's meant to be more lively. In for hoedowns and stuff like that.
It was there's just no range. If you play any country song, I cannot differentiate the instrumentals. I can't. If you play rock music, depending on the band, you can easily go oh, this is Rise Against, or this is Nickelback, or this is Skillet, or you can tell.
Everything has their own unique sort of sound and stuff, but
I can't. A lot of country.
A lot of country doesn't have a style like that, unless it's either usually a typically slow thing or I don't know.
It's I just can't deal with country music like that. I don't know what it is. I just noticed that now. I just can't. I can't listen to it. It drives me insane.
Yeah. For me, I'm always about the rock music.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Another thing I don't really get is just all the hate for Nickelback. And I know you feel the same. Nickelback's not my favorite band.
It's my favorite. Yeah, I don't give a fuck who knows that Nickelback is my favorite band. They've been my favorite band like for years, since I was a teenager. Oh no, screw that. Ever since I was a kid, since Spider-Man 1 with the song Hero. That was the selling point for me, because originally it was Eminem. And I only knew one song by Eminem. And it was When I'm Gone. And, that song still sticks with me today, and it's been like over 20-something years.
Yeah. Like, Nickelback, as kids, like, there were 3 Nickelback songs we knew. There was
Hero,
Photograph, Hero, and Rockstar. That's all we knew. And now it's like, when I think of Nickelback, the first thing that comes to my mind is Saving Me, Edge of a Revolution, Hammer Coming Down, some of the newer stuff.
Yeah. Me, I like a lot of their older stuff, and I like some of the newer stuff. Like, I like the songs that they've been putting out for their new album, which is Feed the Machine, and I'm just like, yeah, I like this so far.
Yeah. Like, a lot of bands, like, the last albums, like, my favorite band is Rise Against. Like, I love most of their music. I don't like their last album. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with Nickelback. Their last album, I didn't care too much for it. I like the songs to an extent, but at the same time, I felt myself not caring for them as much.
I can't even remember what the last album for Rise Against was. I just remember not liking it. I loved all the ones before it. I just didn't like it one. It won.
Yeah, it's like Nickelback doesn't always have the greatest albums for me, because there are 3 albums, counting the last one, that just don't have songs that really catch my attention, and those are Silver Side Up and The Curb. Actually, no, make that 4, because there's also, I forget what it was called. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to, take a look at my CDs and just be like, which album was this, motherfucker? It was the one with the song Breathe and Leader of Men in there.
Wasn't that Dark Horse?
No, Dark Horse came out in 09 or 08. 08.
Leader of Men is also Leader of Men is one of my favorite Nickelback songs.
Yeah, because it starts off kind of differently from a lot of it. It starts off kind of slow for the first half, and then it just gets into that rock and roll deal, and then
I used to not like it, but as I listened to it more, it's like it grew on me really quickly. It went from I hate this song to this is an amazing song.
Yeah. And there's an acoustic version for it, which I really do like.
I don't remember the acoustic version. I know I've heard it. I'm pretty sure it's the version I liked more. I don't remember it.
The acoustic isn't really all that great. One of my favorite acoustic songs is Cold by Crossfade.
I don't listen to much Crossfade.
Oh, neither do I. I only have a couple of songs I like from them, but Cold, I remember the first time I ever heard the song, and it was a Kingdom Hearts AMV. And looking back on it now, Cold was an awesome song that I loved listening to. And then there was there was a flashing light over there, and I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's a firefly. Jesus, I was like, what is that? But going back to Cold, yeah, I love the song, and when I heard the acoustic version, I just fell in love with it. And yeah, it was a Kingdom Hearts AMV. A lot of songs that I found to really like were AMVs. There was
well, that's because they can tell a story, and if you're good enough and know what you're doing, you can tell a completely different story with song using video.
The very first AMV I ever saw was a Kingdom Hearts one, and it was Kingdom Hearts in the Shadows by the Ramses, or Ramses. I think it was Ramses because it's spelled Ramsus.
Is that the channel?
No, that's the name of the band.
Okay. I was thinking, do you remember the channel name from a video? It's what now?
No,
12 years old?
This is before we even found out about YouTube. Do you remember what we used to do for videos?
We would Google them.
Yeah, and then we would find them, and our sister made this folder that had all of them on there. I was like, this is so cool. And this is before we even knew about YouTube.
I remember the first YouTube video I ever watched. It was How Could This Happen to Me? A Danny Phantom AMV. Like, that is what I remember watching when we found YouTube.
What was another one? There was the movie Rent, where they took the song Seasons of Love, and it was that one that goes, 525,600 minutes. And it was a Teen Titans version.
I don't remember that.
I do, because it kind of stuck with me. What else was there? There were also trailer mashups, like Spider-Ben 3, where they took Ben 10 clips and used Spider-Man for it. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool. I love watching this. And I look back on it now, I'm just like, yeah, I learned how to do this after a while, and now it's not as special.
It's the thing of, you learn how to do something, you look back at it, and you go, well, I was stupid back then. That sucked.
Well, it's not that it sucked, because I did enjoy doing it. It was a fun hobby.
I mean, I'm not talking about making videos. I'm talking about, early on, it's going, I thought this was really amazing, and now that I look back at it after 6-7 years, it is not good at all. It did not hold up at all. And it's I can remember making so many videos like that. It's that did not hold up. Why did I make that? That did not hold up. It's why when I put on reviews very early on, when I did the 3 reviews I did, 2 SpongeBob ones and a Digimon one. The Digimon one's the only one that's still up. The Viacom took down the 2 SpongeBob ones, which I'm gonna bring back that series, and I'm reformatting it to where they can't take it down, because I know how to do that now. It's just not going to show anything from the shows, more than likely. But I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I stand by everything I said in that review, both of them for the SpongeBob ones, and I also have realized I look back at one of the episodes, the Googly Artist. I hated that episode. But
it was the Rasmus, not the Ramses.
But it was that episode was this critic is just making it look like all critics are pretentious and don't know what they're talking about and blah blah blah. It's just insulting critics, and I have a different hatred for that now.
Oh my god, I actually found the video.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at it right now. I cannot believe I found this.
Yeah, it's but that episode I have a newfound hatred for. It's just now that I've grown as a person to go, you know what? Art is subjective, and there for a while, I have this thing where it's I will never tell someone that they don't make good art. I can't, because I've had that thing where someone tells you, oh, I'm better than you and you aren't good at this. People have told me I'm not good at drawing a lot, and I could have taken that as, oh, I'll never be good. Or I could have done what I did and go, I'm going to prove you wrong. Which I'm glad that's just the type of mentality I have. It's oh, you think I can't? I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah, it's when it comes down to it, when people say that we can't, we often do whatever we can to prove that we can, regardless of the situation.
Yeah, I'm glad that I never once listened to anyone that said I couldn't do whatever, because yeah, maybe I can't, but you want to know what? If I'm going to fail spectacularly. And I'm going to have a fun story at the end of it to tell.
But you just said, you have no stories to tell, before. No, when
that's because I haven't failed spectacularly yet.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying I didn't fail. I just haven't failed spectacularly.
I forgot what I was. Whenever people said that I couldn't do something, it was more along the lines of I wouldn't, because when I was in middle school, people would often say that I wouldn't do something. I'm you want to fucking bet? And
I bet you $50 I'll do it.
And of course, I proved throughout middle school and high school that I was crazy enough to do fucking
anything. And I'm not even kidding on that. Like, I was seriously just determined to prove to everyone that I was a psychopath to some extent. And, yeah, it worked.
Like, I never really had a problem with having to prove to anyone that much. Like, there's been things like I've set out to prove something to someone, and they have no clue if I were to bring up today what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nowadays when people hear that I'm going to do something, they usually believe me. Because I've proven myself that I'm willing to do pretty much anything to prove myself right.
So, the one thing is, like, I am just I'm wholeheartedly just like, I'm sticking to what I say I'm going to do. It's like this YouTube thing where, like, I have a very specific thing I want to do. I want to make shows and whatever, and I want to use a YouTube channel to help fund that. Like, my favorite quote from, like, Walt Disney is like, I don't make movies to make money. I make money to make movies. Like, that is just what I want. That's what I plan on the channel to be. I want to make stuff, but I don't have the money for it. But if I can get the money so I can make it, I would love to do that. I don't care if after making everything I break even. If I don't get a cent from anything, I don't care. It's like, I just want to create things. I want to just do that. What else would I want to do? That's just what my purpose is, I guess. Because at the end of the day, I'm sitting here going, I could be working a dead-end job that I don't want, or I could be doing something I want to do. I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, it's like, well, for you, your problem is that you don't have you don't have an audience that, watches you on a regular basis. I mean, me, I sort of have that with my Red vs. Blue and Ruby community sort of deal going on, where I'm getting more and more subscribers by the week. But I don't know. You just gotta find, like, the right thing.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I know how to ride the trends. It's just like, I don't want to do that. I want to create what I want to create. Which, like, is why I haven't done it yet, but I do plan on Let's Playing Digimon World 3. The odds of that taking off are very little. Because that game's from 2003. It's 14 years old in America. It came out in 2002 in Japan. It was like, the game is 14, 15 years old, but for some reason there is this audience that knows of it, that likes the game and everything. It's like, awesome. I won't get that audience, because by now they played the game to beat the game. They've probably seen other people play and beat the game. It's like, I've only found 2 people ever play the game, and I only found 1 complete Let's Play of it. So it's like, it's not something that people would look up much. Hey.
Yeah. It's like, you have to have an audience for it. And when I started my YouTube thing, it was just kind of going to be a hobby. And that's all it was at first, but it became more of a, like, how I went on, like, my big, like, I stopped doing videos for so long, like, months at a time, and only did a random video every now and then. I think the reason why I stopped for so long is because it felt more like an obligation. It didn't feel like I was actually doing anything. So, like, I took a step back, and when I came back, dude, I started blowing up, like, with subscribers and everything.
It's like, that's the thing, like, I could do what you do, it's like, and try and model stuff after that, but like, why would I bother? I don't want to make the type of content you make. I want to make the content I'm making. And there's more content I want to make. It's just, I need an animator and time to work on things and better equipment for audio. It's like, stuff I don't have access to. It's like, right now, I'm just trying to build the audience. So, like, hey, when I do make this stuff, someone may go, hey, this sucks, but I'm going to watch it. It's like, I don't like it, but I like this guy, so I'm going to watch the first one, and I'm going to tell him he sucks, but I'm going to keep watching it, and I'm going to keep telling him he sucks, but for some reason I'm going to keep watching it, and then I'm going to tell him I like it. Because people don't like when things change. And I just assume that's how certain things are going to go.
How long have we been going?
I don't know.
Looks like an hour and 24 minutes.
To be fair, the first podcast was 2.5 hours long, and the second one was like an hour and something long because we were on a deadline there, and we generally just end it whenever we run out of things to talk about or whatever.
Oh, we could keep talking. Like we are way off topic from what we started with.
We made a topic and we never even went with it.
I don't even remember what the topic was.
It was Worlds and Kingdom Hearts 3, whatever. You know, that one topic that's been talked about since Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, like since 3 years before it was announced. It's like, who cares? We went from Kingdom Hearts to political stuff and teachers, back to Kingdom Hearts and anime, and yeah. But just get on the train and keep going. Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, I would like to say one thing. Like, something that pops into my mind earlier is like, I remember one project from middle school. It was 8th grade. Like, we did another clay shoe, because I do that apparently in art classes. I did a clay shoe in 12th grade and 8th grade. And in 8th grade, I specifically remember we did 2 clay projects, and while they were being run through the kiln, like, someone's project exploded, and I was like, oh, please let my shoe have exploded. Please. Just don't give it back to me just because she gave everyone an A, because, like, it wasn't their fault. Someone else's thing exploded and destroyed everything. I was like, please, I don't want to work on this assignment. I hate it. Please let mine have exploded. And so like, okay, everyone's out. Go look for your shoe. And I didn't see mine.
Yours is gone?
Well, I didn't see mine. I came back the next day and it was there. It's like, it wasn't there the first day. And the next day it was there. So I was so annoyed by it. Because I did not want to work on that project.
It's fucking magic.
I hated that. I hated that project in math art in middle school. It's the same thing. It's just random nonsense that you won't remember at the end of the day.
When it came down to art projects, I sucked when it came down to anything that was 3-dimensional. I was strictly 2-dimensional, nothing more.
I remember how you made 3D clay models of, like, characters, of people. I remember you bringing home, like, 2 clay people. It's like,
I don't remember this.
I remember, I don't remember if it was before or after you made you started working on your stories and everything. I can't remember.
This had to have been before, because I have no memory of it.
Like, I remember you bringing them home, you saying you hated them, you trying to hide them, Mom finding them, and was like, why are you trying to hide these? It's like, they looked horrible. I believe you said something along the lines of, they look horrible, I hate it during the projects, and I hate the things. I was like, you made clay people, that's awesome. It's like, that was the only thing going through my mind. You made this, and that's awesome, even if you don't.
But I didn't want to make it, so I hated it.
Yeah.
It's like, if I don't want to make something, I don't consider it my art, because I did it just for a passing grade, and that was it.
Yeah, it's like I have all those clay sculptures from like 10th grade. It's like, in 10th grade, I really like dragons, and I have like 3 sculptures in my room. It's like,
you have a fucking cup.
Yeah, I have a cup with a dragon head on it. And the
handles are wings.
I don't remember what was going through my mind to make that, but I do remember what the original design was like. It was a big dragon, and it was holding a cup. And it became that. I don't remember. I think it's because of the weight of the dragons and the way the cup had to be sized. Because the cup had to be, well, it was a vase, and it had to be a cylinder vase that was a foot tall. It was like, I could not get the proportions correctly or anything. And then I have 2 just clay dragon statues back there that I wish that I had to paint. Because I didn't have time to glaze them and refire them on the last day of school.
Yeah.
One of those I made in an hour. Which was a thing like, it was literally the last day we could have done that. Like, I started the last day of using clay that was possible. Finished it.
When I actually put effort into something, I don't want to get rid of it. And I have no problem showing my pride for it.
Yeah. I have a good 20 or 30 notebooks just scattered throughout my rooms, and all the drawings in there are horrible, and I love laughing at myself for making them. Like that, when I see all my older work, it's like, I sucked. I thought this was amazing. I laugh at myself every time. It's why I still have the books that I used to write, because I plan on eventually typing them all up as they are, and then just putting them on the internet for free. It's like, well, does anyone want to see all my early work and laugh at me? Here you go. And that's a legitimate plan I have. Obviously, I'm not going to do that until after I'm like, oh, hey, I put out a book or 2 that's fairly popular and whatever. It's like, I mean, you don't put out your worst work first.
Yeah.
It's usually something you're like, hey, look what I found. And then you just tweet out a link to it. It's just going, okay.
Yeah, no, for me, I will never show my shameful stuff, because one of my comic characters that I write, I've told you about him a million times. You know, the one with the scar on his face.
Yeah.
I found one of my original concepts for him, including his origin story, and oh my fucking god, what kind of shit was I smoking to make that character? It was so bad, and I have never actually done drugs, but I must have been on something to make the character the way that I did.
I remember I remember doing something with something I was writing or whatever, something I was doing. I was like, I don't know what drugs I was on, but I want them. I was like, I don't remember what it is I was talking about in context of that. I was like, I don't know what I was smoking, but I want more of it.
Oh, good lord.
So, yeah. I love just looking at my older stuff and laughing at myself. I don't know what it is, but I always find enjoyment out of it. And I think it's because, I can still remember the mindset I was in of, just whatever it was. And, yeah, I love being able to go, yeah, that was cool. The fun thing is, finding a picture you drew of, some random character and then going, oh, yeah, I remember this character. Why did I make you again?
Because I was smoking some really good shit.
I still remember how I made my first character. Which is so random. It's I was watching Ghost Rider, the first Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
So alright, starting off great. So I'm hey, character, powers, knight, avatar. And about 2 days later, I went, what was I thinking? That's stupid. Of course, I kept the fire thing because I'm a pyro. You have to keep the fire.
Fire is one of the top elements for me. It's fire, earth, and lightning are the elements that I would want. Hell, I'd love if I could control any elements, any of them whatsoever, I'd be happy beyond all belief, because lightning you're holding lightning. That's pretty fucking badass. Same thing with fire. If you control the earth, motherfucker, I'd be untouchable. Water, any bitch decides to piss me off, you're gonna get blood bent. And air, dude, I could use it to fucking fly. Why would I not use that?
Here is the one thing, like, out of all the elements, like, you could control, like, if you could turn water into ice, I feel like that is probably scarier than anything else. It's like, if you think about it, someone could freeze you inside out just with one thought, if they could control water and make that ice, because blood, liquid. They could turn all of the blood you have through your body into ice, and you'd be dead. Yeah. And it'd come out of nowhere. At least with Earth, you'd be like, there's a giant metal pillar flying at and then you're dead. Like, you would have time to rationalize it. It wouldn't be like, gone. Fire, you couldn't
burn alive.
Yeah, like, unless if someone killed you going light speed, it's like...
That's where the lightning comes into play, because you could attack with such a devastating striking force that, you could actually die.
Like, but like, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I would be terrified to fight someone with ice.
For me, I think it would be air, because I know you haven't seen The Legend of Korra, but there's a moment where there's some air bending, and it's just around the head, and they pull the air out of the body, so they suffocate to death.
Oh, I've had that thought for like my character that controls air. Like,
but here's the thing: when they used this technique, it was on this really annoying bitch that you just wanted to die, and the fact that they killed her, I was just like, you are now my favorite villain ever of all time. Because you killed that bitch.
Like, I love that you can become the favorite villain just because you killed someone else doesn't like. You're the best. Why? You killed that person. What?
I think one of the biggest reasons why Washington is one of my favorite characters is because he killed South. And it was the way he killed South. Oh, come on, Wash. So what are you going to do? Shoot, bam. Yes.
I don't remember the last episode of Red vs. Blue. What was it? It was,
They met the Blues and Reds.
Okay. But I was thinking about that. I was like, what was the last episode? Did I miss an episode of Red vs. Blue? Because, the last episode, like, I was not happy with Dylan. I did not like her character, and I still, like, if she interacts with the Reds and Blues, 100% okay. But if she's not, I don't care.
I don't think she did much in episode 7.
She really doesn't do much for the plot anyway.
Oh, well, no,
she delivered a message and helped them find the Blues and Reds. Like, okay.
She's done a fair bit amount for the plot. I mean, the plot is actually revolved around her.
They still have one huge letdown this season so far. Like,
what?
Unicorn. Like, you have this amazing looking character that's just deep voice, looks like he could break you with just like one hand tied behind his back. Like, and he does nothing. He's like, he's just...
Well, I wasn't hoping that he'd be a villain. I was hoping he'd be something else.
I wanted him to be something, but what he was, not worth it.
He was something else, but...
I don't know if you're dancing around to what he was like I am, but I assume you are.
What?
I assume you're dancing around what he is because spoilers.
Sort of. I mean...
Granted, it's not really worth caring about, but still, someone will be angry.
No, me personally, like, I heard some people say, he looks too MLG Pro, and I'm just like, I don't care what the fuck he looks like. I don't care what MLG Pro is. I'm not that kind of person who really gives a shit about MLG Pro. I'm like, I like the color scheme, I like the armor, I like the voice. The only thing I don't like is his job description.
To be honest, I was hoping, like, what I wanted from him the most was, like, some tie to Locust. I wanted a tie to Locust for them, and he didn't have it.
Some people thought he might be a Wyoming clone.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't have said no to that, but at the same time...
Anything would have been better than what he was.
Yeah. Hell, I would have preferred him as a villain.
Yeah. I'm still kind of wary about this season. Like, especially after season 13.
However, Tucker has been a fucking badass.
Tucker's been awesome. Like, Tucker has been the best part of Red vs. Blue since season 12.
11.
Like, season 11, he was kind of still the same. I didn't think he hit his stride until season 12.
Well, season 11 was about passing the torch from Washington over to Tucker, because Washington was the main character of season 11. Then it was passed on to Tucker, and then there wasn't really a main character in season 12. It was kind of spread out very evenly.
Yeah. So, season 13 by far was like it was such a season. Like, with how many same moments.
Originally, season 13 was my favorite until I started realizing that it was the finale of season 13 that made it my favorite. But the overall, my favorite season as a whole is actually season 12. And season 13 comes in close second, but only because, it's only a few specific parts in season 13 that gripped me the way that it did.
I really loved the entirety of, Carolina and Church's parts of season 13.
That moment where Church says, and you know what happened to the meta, and then that quick little guitar theme pops up. You're like, holy shit, a bomb just dropped.
What I thought was when season 13 becomes the best was when Doyle died. That was when that became the best season.
The second you realized that he had the sword, you knew exactly what that meant for his character. He was immediately marked for death.
Yeah. It was he was immediately marked for it, but the way he died. That's what made it.
Because they had a perfect plan to win everything, but it was ruined by just a couple of random moments.
One thing could have stopped that. If one person is the reason why Doyle had to die. Just bad luck. It's if one guy didn't walk in when he did, they could have armed the nuclear or whatever, and he could have looked.
You mean Sharkface?
No, not Sharkface. The guy that walked in was oh, there you are, and then tried to shoot him, but Doyle ducked and shot the guy. Daniel got shot. If it wasn't for that, Doyle would have survived. Plot convenience, but okay.
Yeah,
since I think it was since Santa appeared, and after that point, that's when things started ramping up really quickly, and I think every part after that was great. And I don't think any episode after the Harmonia episodes were over. I don't think any of those episodes were bad in the slightest. They just kept getting better.
Yeah, with season 12, there were a lot of moments in there that just really kept you gripped. I love that they kept utilizing the CGI for some moments, whenever Locust was on screen. The action scenes were a little clunky at first because if you look at the first fight between Felix and Carolina when they're at the snow base, it's very slow and doesn't hold as much impact as later fights in the series or earlier fights in the series. When Monty was working on them. And, it never sit with me as well as it should have, but I did still love it. Felix being the villain, I thought was great, because when he shows up, in your head, you're thinking, no, fucking no. Felix was such an awesome character. And then you get the moment where Tucker gets stabbed at the
episode 18, and you're realizing, holy shit, is this really fucking happening right now?
You see, season 12 is the season I've seen most, just because it had a bunch of episodes that I thought were really good, and then season 13 happened, and that's I've seen the second half of season 13 more than any other episode in the series.
Yeah, it's because the second half of season 13 is honestly the better half of it.
Yeah.
But season 12 as a whole is something that you can just watch repeatedly.
Well, here's my thing with I like the points up until they go to up until the point where they bring in church and everything. Dr. Gray, by far, is the best character in season 12.
You mean best new character?
Yeah, best new character. And here's why. Dr. Gray is Professor Stein, and I love that. That's all that character is. Just crazy. That's all she is, and I love her character. It's amazing.
Yeah.
She's so much fun to be around.
I think when it came down to season 11 of Red vs. Blue, the only thing that I really found interesting enough to keep watching was the constant back and forth between Washington and Tucker, because Wash was trying to, keep everyone ready for any kind of impending attack. Tucker was always fighting him, and at the end of the season, when everyone is separated, you see how far Tucker has come in this one season alone, and the first thing he says to the rebels, right before the credits rolls, is, "Let's run some drills." It's you see that the torch has been passed down to him, and when they played Contact, at that point, it feels like an epic thing where just anything can happen.
You see, the reason why I will say season 13 is better than season 12 is out of everything, when I think of any show or game or whatever, the thing I value most are the characters. Character development is the most important thing to me, because if I don't care about your character, it doesn't matter what you do. You can have the most epic battle. If I don't care about your character, I'm not watching it. It's why
Yeah, but for you're a bit picky when it comes down to characters.
I mean, there are characters I don't like, but usually, if you can make them feel unique and human, I don't care. Dylan's, so far, I don't feel like she feels human. They're trying, and I can see they're trying. It's I just don't feel like there's anything
I
there.
think it's just that you don't identify with that specific character type, because you typically have never liked that character type.
I don't know what it is about the character type. I just can't stand it. It's weird. There's no reason why I shouldn't care about it. I don't know what it is.
Well, for me, I didn't like Jax, but you did like Jax. It's you and I were flipped on that one.
Well, I think Jax is kind of funny. I like the original Jax first. I like him. I liked him better, but Jax is growing on me now. This is just weird.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's we have plenty of idiots, and we just have idiots all over the place. I think Dylan is one of the only times where comedy is met with seriousness, and I don't know, it's a nice refresher, because that's how Washington was at first. He was very serious all the time, but there was still some comedy behind it.
Well, I'm fine with that. I do have a problem with Jax and his characters. My problem with is I don't think he should be stupid. He should be energetic. He should kind of know what he's talking about. He shouldn't be all that.
The fact that he was practicing his Wilhelm scream in the last episode.
Yeah, I didn't find that funny. I just thought that was stupid.
You fucking dumbass! You're being shot at.
Yeah, when they talk, what was it? Where they were, the episode that just showed everything from the end of Chorus to now. I think did you get that? And then him turning on the camera. Why was that added? That joke is always done. It wasn't funny the first time. It's not funny this time. Why add that? You could have just said, "Yep," and move on.
I don't trust the Blues and Reds. They're suspicious to me.
No, I don't trust them. Not at all. They are definitely up to something. And I don't care what I know how Rooster Teeth does things. Like, they're purposely making them feel suspicious with everything. Like this last episode where they're like, "Oh, hey, don't touch that because if you do, we all die." Whatever. Whatever that was.
It was a cloaking device.
The cloaking device. Like, they are purposely making that overly suspicious.
Yeah, but at the same time, it could be a misdirection for us as well, because we know that when they make something over suspicious, because, all right, they've already done it. All right, at first we think they're bad guys, and then we find out that they're idiots, and then it's just like, suddenly they're suspicious again, and next thing you know, they're going to be idiots again when it turns out that they're really evil all along, and you don't know where they're going to go with these characters.
Like, that's one thing I will give versus like, they will do that. They will just be like, it'll be like the dog chasing its own tail. It's like, it's
going to be one of them.
It's like, the dog's not gonna get the tail, but every once in a while the dog will get the tail. Like, our dog, I remember watching Sophie running around in the yard chasing her own tail when we first got her, and 9 out of 10 times she would get her tail. I'm like, I did not know dogs generally can catch their own tail. Maybe it's just our dog, man, whatever. I was like, and Rooster's very good about being able to go, no.
Yeah, no, it's not the dog chasing its own tail. It's like the what is it? It's like when you put something in front of someone and you're like, take it from my hand if you can, and they just keep pulling away like right before you can grab it.
Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe it's just the big red button that says "Don't press." Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. All you know is the button's gonna get pressed. You don't know when it gets pressed, but it gets pressed. It could be good, it could be bad. Who knows?
And it doesn't necessarily have to be you.
Someone's gonna hit the button. You don't know.
Yeah, it's like, you can choose nothing. I doubt that there's a single button in this world that will not be pressed at some point.
Yeah.
Like, someone will press a button for whatever reason, unless it's like locked behind multiple layers of safes and locks and everything. It's like, this is the most secure button in the entire universe and no one will ever touch it.
You know what I want to do? If we ever run a convention, just have any random panel, I want there to be like it's like at every seat there's a big button that's like, we'll just light up the chair and whatever. It's like, as everyone comes in, we're gonna go, don't press the button. If you press the button, something bad will happen, and see how many people press that button. Like, and they won't know that it's like, we'll make it like, oh, row 4, seat D, press the buttons. Like, they won't know that we know, but we'll know who hit the button. I just kind of want to see what happens there. Just how many people would be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Everyone will hit that button by the end of it. I guarantee it. Yeah. Anyway,
we've been going for about an hour.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, almost 2 hours. Like, we're just 7 minutes shy of it. And me personally, I'm barely awake as it is.
Yeah, I was about to say. Anyway, guys, that's all for this time. If you like podcasts, check out any of the other 2 that we've done. Probably do more in the future. If you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see. Go to Kedrex's channel. It's like, I'm sure you can find it. It's on the main page. It'll probably be in the description.
I'm sure. Yeah, you should probably just like copy the link from mine and just leave it in the description down below.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna forget about it. I'm gonna forget.
About it. Look up my name. It's Kedrex, and not Kidrex. It's Kedrex, and I've got like 340 videos on my channel. So
That should give you a much narrower, because there actually is another Kedrex on YouTube.
I'm gonna start a YouTube.
It's Kedrex Jr. and I'm like, who the fuck are you? And there's like 3 videos on there. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Why do you have my name?
I'm gonna start another channel called Kedrex.
I will kick your ass if you do, and you know I will.
Well, I can't now because someone else is gonna take it. By the time
I'll track you down and kick your ass too.
By the time I care enough to do it, someone else will already have taken it.
Assuming someone actually does do it.
Someone will do it. You know, eventually someone will do it.
Alright.
Anyway, guys, that's all for this time. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll probably go find another video where I'm being an idiot, like any of the Let's Plays I've done. Preferably the Kingdom Hearts ones, because those are the ones I'm really happy with. Go watch the GTA videos we put up on this channel, because those are some of the better videos we have. I'll see you in the next podcast. Maybe Kedrex, maybe Neon, who knows, and maybe some random guy from down the street. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the random guy down the street. But we'll see you in the next video.